Düşündüm. Derhal kılgaymen. Düşündüm. Bargaymen. Kurgaymen. Kurgaymen. Derhal kılgaymen. Bargaymen. Düşündüm. Derhal kılgaymen. Derhal kılgaymen. Emriniz bargaymen. Selam. Düşündüm. Bargaymen. Düşündüm. Aldık kılgaymen.
Salam avgıcık kaymen. Hazır. Derhal düşündüm. Derhal hazır. Derhal hazır. Düşündüm. Kaymen. Derhal düşündüm. Kaymen. Hazır. Derhal kaymen. Ayarmen. Hazır. Hazır. Bağaymen. Derhal kılgaymen. Hazır. Düşün.
Reinforcements have arrived through the Caucasus.
You are a man of honor. We will join you against Totamesh.
Teyyar derhal kılgaymen. Kurgaymen.
Düşündüm. Kurgaymen.
Emriniz kurgaymen.
Hazır. Hazır. Kurgaymen.
Teyyar bargaymen.
This food will feed many horsemen.
Kurgaymen.
Derhal kılgaymen.
Take what we can spare to help you in your battles.
Emriniz derhal tezkeyle. Raymen derhal tezkeyle.
Mocks us with the construction of a monument in Astrakhan. This cannot go unchecked.
Kalam onha raymen. Anaçkayla.
Emriniz. Düşündüm. Derhal Turgaymen. Kaan Açkaymen.
Tell Tamerlan that we ride with him.
Take what we can spare to help you in your battles.
Simply beg to be plundered. This food will feed many horsemen.
Emriniz.
Hazır raymen. Hazır düşündüm.
many horsemen. This food will feed many horsemen. This food will feed many horsemen. This food will feed many horsemen.
Ryazan is ours! Now their renowned craftsmen will construct siege engines for us.
Take what we can spare to help you in your battles.
Тургайна.
Rye burns while my men build towers from the skulls of the slain.
Derhal Turgayna.
Take what we can spare to help you in your battles.
This food will feed many horsemen.
No one! This city will regret having ever opposed me. Ah! With his empire aflame, Dr. Mish will have no choice but to flee like a craven to Lithuania!
Raging fires, torrents of blood, piles of ash, the clash of iron, and the screams of the dying. This was the horrors. The cities of Ryazan, Sarai, Astrakhan, Azov, and Ukek were reduced to rubble. All that remained, aside from the ruins, were the towers of bones that Tamerlan had no choice but to flee west to Lithuania. Tamerlan was determined not to let the traitor escape, but word soon reached him of a rebellion within his homeland, leaving the hunt in the Listening to the stories of the stranger had stirred our appetites, and we eagerly began to devour our meal. I invited the old man to sit next to me. I still thought the man has the cunning of a wolf and the composure of an owl. In some battles, he strikes hard at the center of the enemy line, while in others, swift horsemen when Tamерлan decided to cross the Khyber Pass into India. A different and terrifying challenge faced him. The armies of the Delhi Sultanate ruled the battlefields through the powerful elephants, monstrous beasts known to crush a horseman with a single foot.
Shah Tughlaq relies on the charge of his armored elephants, but he has no idea what is coming.
Now charge, my mahouts!
Send forth the flaming camels! Ha! The elephants fear my camels and stampede back towards their own lines! Press the attack!
Hazır. Estarima.
Nothing now stands between us and the riches of Delhi. Let us claim them for our own.
Emriniz Bahreyn'den.
He. Kurgayman. 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 Kurgayman.
Emriniz Kuraymen. Hazır. Emriniz Maldemen. Hobemiri. Yarmen, Kuraymen, Hazır Bahreyn'den, Çuşunkin.
Selam. Kurgayman. Emriniz. Kurgayman.
Emriniz gelmedi. Çuşundayım Bahraymen. Emriniz çuşundayım Bahraymen. Hobemirim. Hazır çuşundayım. Hücum günler.
تيار من بارغاي من
You will pay for looting my lands, Tamерлan.
emriniz Turgay من
Hazır gelmedi. Bahraymen. Eşlerim var.
سلام
Bahraymen. Emriniz.
The Indian merchants had much gold stored in this dock.
Emriniz. Emriniz gelmedi. Hücum günler. Tayyar hazır. Bahraymen. 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 Eşlerim var. Hazır.
The Indian merchants had much gold stored in this dock. We have destroyed one of Delhi's castles. 4 more still stand. We have destroyed the second enemy castle. 3 remain.
Kurallaninglar. Hücum günler. Emriniz. Kurallaninglar. Hazır. Eşlerim var. Emriniz gelmedi. Hazır çuşundayım. Hobemirim. Bahraymen. Emriniz. Çuşundayım.
Inspired by our piety, Ghazi troops have arrived from the west to join us. Three of Delhi's castles lie in ruins. Only 2 still stand. of Delhi's castles have fallen. One more, and the city will be ours. Inspired by our piety, Ghazi troops have arrived from the west to join us.
Kurallaninglar. Emrimiz peş veringlar.
The Indian merchants had much gold stored in this dock.
Riches will be more than enough to finance my future conquests.
The Indian army relied on the charge of its dreaded elephants to shock their enemies and drive them into disorder. No stranger to the art of war, Tamerlan knew this. In a stroke of genius, he loaded the camels in his baggage train with straw and wood and set them aflame, whipping them toward the enemy lines. The sight terrified the elephants, who doubled back and trampled their own men. The battle was a rout. 200 years' worth of Indian treasure was loaded onto a train of wagons and carried back to Samarkand. In response to an uprising, Tamerlane's armies ready. Still, Tamerlan was not satisfied. There was Silence gripped the court as the narrative evoked fear and awe. The meal had been finished for some time, and the fires were beginning to die low. If Tamerlan, for some time, the local Turkoman tribes of the Levant had been requesting aid against Ottoman aggression. With his army rested and his coffers full of Indian riches, Tamerlan was ready for more bloodshed. He knew there was more than one way to motivate an army. Religious fervor and promises of land and plunder drove his men forward. This land was familiar with the terror of previous invasions, but nothing could prepare them for the onslaught that lay ahead. Thirsting for glory, Tamerlan's armies flooded.
The feeble states of the Levant lie at our feet. Let us show them the true meaning of fear.
These miners have offered to unearth a holy relic for us, provided we can defend them.
Ready.
Amir, This Turkoman village has offered to help supply our horde.
The Phoebos. Let us show them the true meaning of fear. Ashes and rubble are all we leave behind. But the wealth we have plundered will ensure that my line prospers for eternity.
Tamerlane's forces ran rampant, looting and burning as they went. For a land that, although he was known for his military campaigns, Tamerlane was also a patron of the arts. When a city was sacked, the artisans and scholars were spared and sent to his capital at Samarkand. Populations who resisted him, however, were not spared. After his siege had broken the Armenian fortress of Van, Tamerlane ordered it in, just like Hulegu, roughly a century before. Tamerlane showed particular cruelty to the city of Baghdad. Each man in Tamerlane's army was required to bring him 2 heads. The warriors slaughtered the population of the city. Populations who resisted him, however, were not spared. After his siege had broken the Armenian, just like Hulegu, roughly a century before, Tamerlane showed particular cruelty to the city of Baghdad. Each man in Tamerlane's army was required to bring him 2 heads. The warriors slaughtered the population of the city, then slew the prisoners they had brought. For the survivors of this savagery, it seemed as if the sun would never rise again. The relationship between Tamerlane and the Ottoman Sultan Bayezid was one of great enmity. Finally, Tamerlane had the opportunity to crush his rival, whose armies were weary from wars in Byzantium and Hungary. Even so, the Ottoman Empire was no trifling opponent. Its army driven by intrepid leadership. The Ottoman force marching to meet Tamerlane was large, but divided. Turks, Serbs, Tatars, and various other vassals all contributed troops to this powerful yet volatile force. This would be his greatest test yet. The fate of 2 empires.
Bayezid has made camp across the river to the south. We do not yet have the numbers to take the fight to him. So, we should focus on raiding his outlying supply stores and camps.
Our spies report that the loyalty of the auxiliary troops accompanying Bayezid is in question. We should visit their camps and see if we can pry them away from him.
تیار من در حال قلقای من کرگای من کرگای من کرگای من کرگای من کرگای من
I am impressed by your conquest, Tamерлan, but I demand one more display of strength. Eradicate the Ottoman supply camps southwest of here, and we will gladly join you.
Old Tamерлan, if you are willing to share some with us, perhaps we can be convinced to break camp and go home.
I would help fight the Ottomans, but my men are inexperienced. If you bring 5 elite Keshiks to my citadel to train them, I will join you and convince the Gara Tatars to do the same.
Kurgayman, Kurgayman. Selam, düşündüm. Kurgayman. Kurgayman, Kurgayman, Kurgayman.
We will never desert Bayezid. Death to you, Tamерлan! Bayezid would never share his spoils with us. Let us go home, men!
A deal is a deal, Tamерлan. We will be there for you when the time comes.
Emriniz Bargayman.
Hazır, derhal düşündüm.
Let us see Bayezid fire his cannon without this gunpowder. Bayezid's Serbian auxiliaries seem to have left some caltrops here. We have seized Turkish weapons and armor from this blacksmith. The Turks will not be using these horses anytime soon.
I never doubted you for a second. Come on, men. We serve a new lord now.
Without this training ground, the Turks will field fewer janissaries. We have seized Turkish weapons and armor from this blacksmith. Without this training ground, the Turks will field fewer janissaries. Some Ottoman siege engineers. Without this training ground, the Turks will field fewer janissaries. The Turks will not be using these horses anytime soon. Let us see Bayezid fire his cannon without this gunpowder. We have seized Turkish weapons and armor from this blacksmith. The Turks will not be using these horses anytime soon. The Turks will not be making use of the provisions stored in this market. Let us see Bayezid fire his cannon without this gunpowder. The grain in these mills will feed our men now.
We will crush your foes. On these plains, Tamерлan, prepare for battle.
Send your best bravely. Not a one will survive.
Valiant Stefan Lazarevic is wounded. What? Hold cover now against the Tatars.
The enemy is breaking into a full round. Right.
Amir, Sultan Bayezid has fled the field and taken refuge in his mountain fortress to the south.
He may flee as far as he likes, but we will track him down as a wolf does his prey.
You for weakening the Turks for us, but it really is past time you left our lands now.
I surrender. Just spare me, O great Tamерлan. I beg you.
I will burn your city, just like the others.
You will try.
Emriniz tüm külünler, eşberimler, tüm külünler. Emrinizde mademem, eşberimler, tüm külünler.
Our great stronghold lies as King ruin. Flee! Flee before the Tatars kill us all!
No adversary can stand his ground against me. I am a titan among mortals, a harbinger of devastation, the architect of an empire without bounds.
The Battle of Ankara was a catastrophe for the Ottomans. Never before had they suffered the disgrace of having thus turning his armies around. Tamerlane left Anatolia in chaos. It is only a matter of time before he seeks an out. The man ended his tale on that foreboding note. I realized that I had to prepare my kingdom lest my lands appear ripe for the picking. I ordered everyone to retire. Suddenly, the doors burst open, and a servant rushed towards me. Sire, a messenger from the Waldrot called Tamerlane is here to speak to you. He claims that you are harboring someone of interest to him. His weary, dark eyes met mine, and he answered in a grim voice. I am Toktamish Khan, of the blood of Genghis Khan.